What's up, sports bettors? Sports betting obviously has brought a lot of joy to my life. I find a lot of joy in sports betting, so I hope I can bring that joy to you. With the 7-leg parlay, we're going to be locking in for $120. $120 to win 28.7K. Let's make it happen. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in, and we're going to talk through each of these picks, each of our bets. Why did we include them in our parlay, and how can you create the most profitable parlays on a daily basis? So we're going to talk about parlay betting strategy. You know, I love helping sports bettors, and kind of the number one thing that people always say is parlays are unprofitable. But that's not true. Parlays are generally unprofitable. If you are parlaying together unprofitable bets, like most sports bettors do, then your parlay will be unprofitable. However, if you're parlaying together sharp, profitable bets, then your parlay will be profitable. And we're going to run through the math behind the 7-leg parlay and really go through each leg. And it's a lot of fun. We're going to have some tennis picks. We got some player props. We have some first half bets. We have an NBA bet. A lot of different bets in here. So if you like betting on sports, if you like betting on parlays, I hope you enjoy this video. You find it helpful. The sports betting math and strategies, you know, really the goal of OddsJam is to help sports bettors, help equalize the playing field and give you knowledge. So you can always feel free to book a call with us if you have any questions. There are some links in the description as well as in the comments below, so you can book a call with us. We're happy to talk through sports betting strategy that actually involves math, not touting. So let's go through some of our picks. So we're on the OddsJam Positive Expected Value page, and we can see my parlays on FanDuel. The best bet currently on FanDuel is Mariners Twins first inning total runs over half of a total run, plus 116 on FanDuel. You can see this is a true pricing discrepancy, and I would have included it in my parlay, but I've already locked it in. So unfortunately, FanDuel wouldn't let me bet more on it, but you can see I've locked it in right here for a unit size of $50. So top row, we scroll over. This is our profit margin. So the return, you know, the profit margin of the stock market is like 8% a year. We're getting a 5% profit margin in this bet on yes run first inning in the Mariners Twins game, right? Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. This is real-time odds from Pinnacle. They're pricing this all the way down at minus 102. And we're getting this plus 116 on FanDuel. So just looking at the odds in the market, you can really see this is a true pricing discrepancy on FanDuel, and definitely a bet we want to lock in. Now, another interesting point worth mentioning is, you know, sometimes sportsbooks will limit your bet sizes, right? You're not going to be able to bet whatever you want on all of these wagers. Like you can see FanDuel, they only let me on this crazy 7-leg parlay of $120 to win 29K. They're only letting me bet $120. They didn't even let me bet the full amount. But let's go through our picks. So the first pick we have is Reds Diamondbacks. No run first inning. So an NRFI bet. Minus 115 on FanDuel. So again, you want all the legs in your parlay to have value. So if we're on the OddsJam Positive EV page, that's essentially what this page shows you, right? So here we can see this bet has a profit margin of 1.69%. It's on the bottom row, so we scroll along and we see Diamondbacks Reds first inning total runs under half of a total run, which is exactly the same as no run first inning, is minus 115 on FanDuel. So if we click into the odds, you can see this is really a true pricing discrepancy. We're getting a lot of value on FanDuel, right? The sharpest sportsbook, the most efficient betting market. Just Google it. Google Pinnacle Sportsbook Sharp, right? They're pricing this all the way down at minus 130. So we're getting a ton of value on FanDuel, and this is a great pick to include into your parlay. So this is the first leg that we're going with. So you can see that the market on Pinnacle, they had the over plus 111 and the under minus 130. So what a no vig fair odds calculator will tell you, which is the most important calculator in sports betting, is it will take the sportsbook's market and remove the juice or remove the vig, right? It'll essentially take a sportsbook's market and tell you what the sportsbook is implying the win probability and the true price for your wager is. So we can see for this Reds Diamondbacks, no runs first inning, the win probability for our bet according to Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is 54.39%. So we'll add this in right now, and this is Reds, D-backs, no runs first inning, right? No runs first inning, under half of a first inning total run. So that's the first pick we're going to go with. So again, if this is confusing to you, like, you can think about it, the way that sportsbooks make money, if I want to go bet on the Warriors, right, I can bet on the Warriors on FanDuel, no problem, right? I can lock my bet in on the Warriors. I'm not charged a fee. So you may be thinking, how does FanDuel make money? They make their money by this spread, right? Plus 140, minus 166. Anybody on FanDuel betting on the Warriors is betting $100 to win $140 in profit. Anybody betting on the Celtics has to bet $166 to win $100 in profit. So essentially, as long as FanDuel is taking money on both the Warriors and Celtics in equal and opposite amounts, they're going to make that risk-free spread, because for every $100 bet on the Warriors, they only pay out $140 in profit if the Warriors win. Whereas for every $166, bet on the Celtics, they only pay out $100 in profit. So that's how sportsbooks make money, right? They charge the spread, they charge the vig. So what this no vig fair odds calculator does is it tells you, hey, FanDuel's giving you plus 140 for the Warriors and minus 166 for the Celtics in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. So their market, right, the odds they are giving you imply that they believe the fair price, the zero vig market, would be plus 150 for the Warriors and minus 150 for the Celtics, right? This would be the true odds. If the sportsbooks didn't want to make money, if FanDuel didn't want to make money, they would charge you plus 150 for the Warriors, minus 150 for the Celtics. But of course, sportsbooks want to make money, so they bake in their vig, they bake in their juice, and they take their true odds and reduce them. So instead of giving you what they believe is the true price for a wager, plus 150, FanDuel takes their odds from plus 150 to plus 140. That's the juice, right? That's the spread they're baking in, because their model thinks that plus 140 is a bad price or an unprofitable price to bet on. So that's the first pick we're going with in our parlay, was that no runs first inning in the Reds Diamondbacks game. So now we have a few tennis picks, right? We have Hubert Hurkacz, no idea who this guy is, just following the math. We can see we're getting a lot of value to Pinnacle, right? We're getting 17 cents of improvement from the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So we're pretty good value, right? 3.18% profit margin, and Hurkacz under minus 3.5 on the game spread. So the market on Pinnacle was plus 143, minus 167. So their model is implying that the win probability for this pick is 39.68%. So we can go here, and this is our second pick. Hurkacz minus 3.5 on the game spread with a 0.3968 win probability. And again, the true odds are plus 152. That's the odds according to the betting model on the sharpest sportsbook, Pinnacle. And we're getting plus 160 on FanDuel, which is why this bet is positive EV, right? The OddsJam sports betting model, it's not doing anything complicated. It's taking odds from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world and comparing it to other sportsbooks to try to show you these line discrepancies and where the value is, right? OddsJam is constantly scanning all of these tennis markets, NBA markets, player props, everything for you to try to figure out where the value is for sports bettors. So we have now two picks. Next we'll go to Draymond, minus 139, plus 105 is the market on Pinnacle. So I do like fading Draymond. He had a good game, he had a pretty good game 5, but I do like fading him in game 6. So we see that the win probability for Draymond under 21.5 PRAs is 54.38%. So 54.38%. A lot of math and numbers in sports betting, but if you want to make money, that's really what it takes, right? Sports betting isn't a game for touting. It's not a game for touting. It's a game for following the math and the numbers and letting the math work itself out Every sports bettor will have losing streaks, right? The worst sports bettors, the most unprofitable sports bettors will still have winning days. The best sports bettors, the sharpest sports bettors will still have losing days. It's all about making money over the course of every month and consistently beating the closing line. So then we have Diaz over 1.5 total bases, which we can see right here. 2+ total bases is exactly the same as over 1.5. So plus 127 minus 171. So the win probability for this pick is 41.11%. 41.11%. Diaz, 2+ total bases. So now we're 3 picks down. I think I skipped over this. I think this is CFL, Canadian Football League. So a lot of sports you can bet on. Of course, the same concepts apply. As a sports bettor, you're looking for value. If you want to bet only on the NBA, only on the MLB, only on tennis, whatever, it's all math, right? You have to be looking for above average market rates, right? No sports bettor is going to win every time. So if you are consistently getting great odds and beating the closing line, then you're going to make money. So next we have this plus 4.5 on the game spread. So we'll try to go a bit quicker here. Plus 101 minus 118, 47.89% win probability for this pick. 47.89% win probability. So this is, Daniel plus 4.5 game spread, or Daria S. Don't know the players I'm betting on. Again, as a sports bettor, it's not the people who watch every game, right, who are making money sports betting. Tennis has actually been one of my most profitable sports. I don't think I've ever watched a tennis game in my life. I don't think I could get out of bed to watch a tennis game. But it's all about following the numbers. And actually, tennis is a very profitable sport to bet on because it's not a team sport, right? You'll often notice that the sports with the most profitable betting opportunities and the biggest line movements are sports like UFC and tennis because it's one-on-one, right? You don't have a whole team. For NFL, if a star receiver gets injured, it doesn't even move the money line that much. Whereas in the UFC, a player not making weight or something like that can drastically move the line. So next we have Audi, tennis. Lines have been moving towards him. I actually bet him, I believe, on DraftKings at minus 105. And now I bet him again. Lines continue to move towards him. Minus 118 on FanDuel. So again, the sports betting market is dynamic. Odds are always changing. So, if you want to bet on the NFL, for example, it's not like you can be checking OddsJam, at 12:50, 10 minutes before the NFL games start and expecting to rake in the profit on OddsJam. That's just not how it works, right? It's not how it works at all. So 54.86%. Like sports betting odds are always moving, sharp actions coming in, weather's changing, sports books are changing around odds. So you need to, be checking OddsJam as frequently as possible. The most profitable users of this sports betting software, right, are going to use this software very frequently because you never know when great bets are going to occur. And I'll give you an example. I placed a bet on Zach Gallen under 5.5 strikeouts in the Reds Diamondbacks game. This was an early MLB player prop for the games today. Right when sportsbooks posted odds, I noticed the line discrepancy and I bet it. And now if we go to the Reds game tomorrow, so let's go into it, and we go to player strikeouts, you can see it's already down to minus 130, right? So I got minus 122. It's already down to minus 130 once we go back to it. So the sports betting market is dynamic, just like the stock market. Prices are constantly ticking around. So to get great odds in sports betting and find sharp, mathematically profitable bets with an edge, you have to be constantly looking, right? Sports betting's not easy. You have to be constantly looking for great bets. You can't just check 10 minutes before game time. So our final pick is going to be under 3.5 in Angels Dodgers, which is a bet I really like as well. And we can scroll down, and where's the Dodgers game? So we may have to manually go to it at this point. It looks like the odds may have moved. So we'll go to the Dodgers game. We have this little search button on OddsJam, and then you can click this little drop down and go to first half total runs as I take a sip of my Corona. So Pinnacle is pricing this plus 157, minus 183. So we got this in our parlay, plus 168 on the under 3.5. So using real-time odds from Pinnacle, which is in line with DraftKings, right? Like they're in line. So this is a true pricing discrepancy, right? We're getting, pretty good 15 cents of improvement from Pinnacle. So that seems quite good. The win probability for this pick is going to be 37.57%. So 37.57%. So now we have 0.3757. This is under 3.5 first half total, Dodgers, Angels. So we have 7 picks in our parlay, right? And we are staking $120 to win 28.9K, right? So 28.7K once you remove your stake. So this total payout column, it includes your stake. So it's 120 to win, 28,732 in profit. So pretty crazy parlay. But what we have now is we have 7 bets. We have the win probability implied from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, which we can again just use a no vig fair odds calculator, the most important calculator on OddsJam. So I highly recommend you read this text like 4 or 5 times. You really understand it, you really internalize it, because it's very important, right? This is very, very important for sports bettors to understand and read through. It's the most important calculator on OddsJam. You should be using it every day. If you're a DFS player playing on Prize Picks, if you're a sports bettor using DraftKings or FanDuel, this calculator is super valuable because it allows you to put in a sportsbook's market and see what their model is implying the win probability for a bet is, as well as the true odds. So our parlay has a win probability of 0.00468. So a low win probability, but we're getting such crazy odds at plus 23,943 that this parlay is mathematically profitable, right? We have a 12.6% edge in our parlay. So because every leg in our parlay is profitable, our parlay is also going to be mathematically profitable, right? So pretty great bet. We need every leg to hit, which is pretty unlikely, but every leg also had edge or a positive profit margin. So our parlay also does, right? So you'll notice right here, every leg is going to be from the positive EV page. So if you are always parlaying together bets that are positive EV, then your parlay will be positive EV. So you will make money over the course of the long run. As long as you are placing bets that are consistently, beating the closing line and generating positive CLV, you'll eventually realize a profit and a positive ROI. So I hope you found this video helpful. Any questions you have about the OddsJam sports betting software, feel free to book a call with us. Again, our goal is just to help sports bettors make money. And again, thanks so much for your time.